Alright guys, this is Jughead82, and today I wanted to do something. It's kind of like a pickup vid. I wanted to pretty much, if you guys watch my channel a lot, you know that I have a lot of wrestling games. So basically I'm going to show you the wrestling games that I do own, and we're going to start it off with a messed up one we're going up. So this is from the Super Nintendo. This is WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game. Really fucked up cover, but really fun game. It's an arcade port from the arcade version of the game. The only bad thing about the Super NES version is it doesn't have Yokozuna as well as Bam Bam Bigelow. Next game I have is Saturday Night Slam Masters. A really fun game. It's kind of like Street Fighter meets wrestling. Really fun game. It also has a hidden character from another game. If you play it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Mr. Hacker. The next game I have is WWF Royal Rumble. Really fun game. It's kind of like an upgrade from Super WrestleMania on this game for Super Nintendo. It also has finishers for all the wrestlers. Game that's an upgrade from Royal Rumble is WWF Raw. This is another really fun game. It came out a year after Royal Rumble, so some people prefer Royal Rumble overall, but it's still a fun game. Next game I have is WCW Super Brawl. Now WCW Super Brawl is a really good game. Some people criticize it for being a little too hard, but I don't know if it's really rare, but I haven't seen too many places sell this game, and it's a really fun game. And you get to play as the Stinger, the Nature Boy, you know, Big Van Vader. Now that's it for the Super Nintendo games. Now for the PlayStation 1 games. Now, this game didn't come with an actual case, but I'll show it in the GameStop thing. But this is WCW Thunder. WCW NWO Thunder, I mean, for the PlayStation 1. People criticize this game for being very repetitive, as well as the moves. And if you can see, this paper is a printout of the moves. Certain moves, like going for simple moves like a body slam, you have to press up triangle and all that. The next game, which came out next, is WCW Mayhem. Now I like Mayhem. Really fun game. Graphically, it was pretty good at the time. Really nice game. Some people also complain about this game, but this was the first wrestling game. Don't think WWF SmackDown series had the backstage areas, but this was the first one to have a backstage area. The next game is WCW versus the World. Very good arcade-like style game, made by Ike, and they were responsible for a world tour on the N64 as well as WCW Revenge and also WWF No Mercy. Really fun game for the PlayStation. The next game people also shit on is WWF In Your House. Now this game, it's a mixed bag. WrestleMania arcade game is better, but you know, it's an okay game. Next game is ECW Anarchy Rules. I got this game on the pure reason of ECW. Now I played Hardcore Revolution, which really didn't have the hardcore aspect. This one right here did kind of, you know, they put some more hardcore into it, but it's not, you know, a flash of a good game. It's kind of like WWF Attitude with different wrestlers. The next game is a shitty game. This is WCW Backstage Assault. This game came out after WCW Mayhem. The graphics were shit. The gameplay was the same as Mayhem, as it related to the controls. But I still ended up getting it. It was only $1.99 though. Now, on to the next level. PlayStation 2. The first game we have is Legends, Showdown's Legends of Wrestling. Now, This game has a bunch of wrestlers, roughly 75 plus wrestlers on here, and you can play as the Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, the Macho Man Randy Savage, and of course the Stinger and Jake the Snake Roberts. So you get to play as all of them, and plus the Macho Man's on here, so you know that's something Legend of WrestleMania doesn't have. The next wrestling game is an all-female wrestling game called Rumble Rose. It was released on the PlayStation 2, and this is a pretty good game though. It was made by THQ, also responsible for the SmackDown series. Really fun game though, good gameplay, and who doesn't like to see some chicks get it on? Now here's a creme de la creme wrestling game right here. This is Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. Now, I've always been a huge fan of the Fire Pro Wrestling series. Ever since, you know, back in the day, and they always have had the best wrestling games, customizable and everything. People complain about it being in 2D, but as long as the gameplay is there, it's a good game to have. Really, really fun game. And another creme de la creme game is SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Now, this right here was, to me, one of the best SmackDown games released for the SmackDown generation of games. It, in essence, had the graphics, it had the gameplay, it had the season, the story mode, and whatnot, and it had a bunch of really good, awesome wrestlers on there, like Ultimo Dragon, and of course Brock Lesnar on the cover. They had, you know, it was just a really awesome game. Now, this is a sequel. This was when they. Well, this is SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. It's better than the first SmackDown vs. Raw, hands down. Graphics as well as gameplay. This is another game many people like because it's, you know, it's really fun and it doesn't lose the essence of SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. So it's a really, really fun game. Now, this one many people feel was a letdown from SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. This game out next after SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, and this is the first SmackDown vs. Raw. Graphically, the game, it was okay, but it, you know, creative wrestler, all the wrestlers had the same Frankenstein-like face, but still an okay game though. The next game we have is SmackDown Raw vs. Raw 2007. It's also a really fun game. It's not as good as 06, but still a nice game to have. And the most recent game I have, SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. I've been playing it, and it's a pretty okay game. And finally, for the game I recently picked up, if you haven't been really paying attention to this video so far, and here it is. I had this for the PlayStation 2, and I got it for the PS3 instead. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. I've been hearing a lot of good reviews about this game. Really, really great game from what I've heard, and I decided to give this a try. So yes, Jughead is SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. But yeah, guys, these are all the wrestling games I have, and hope you guys like it. But let me know what's your favorite wrestling game of all time, or wrestling game that you like to play. But this is Jughead82, signing off.